No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out, 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 out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. We're going all the way so you can score more for your trade-in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV today. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
It's time for the post-game show from Bronco Nation News. We're breaking down the game with highlights, interviews, analysis, and most importantly, you. Give your thoughts on the game in the YouTube chat or Facebook comments, and we'll include the best ones on the show. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Western Collective Studios. Head down to Western Collective's locations in Garden City or downtown Boise to try some of their delicious beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer to support an NIL collective. Now let's head out and join BJ Rains for the post-game show from Bronco Nation News.
Ashton Jeanty. Yes, we're here to talk about Ashton Jeanty, everything else that's going on, but how about Ashton Jeanty tonight? Kent Riddle, 26 carries, 259 yards, 4 touchdowns, and this was his final one, maybe his most impressive. The cannon went off when he was still at like the 20-yard line, barrels his way into the end zone, and there he is, touchdown. Unbelievable. Now it's 5 touchdowns of at least 50 yards on the season. And afterwards, they were they got the Heisman chant going. Look at the Morales brothers, everybody there in the south end zone. They're fired up for the Heisman campaign, and I would say it's alive and well, Kent Riddle, after what he did tonight. Welcome you on into the Blue and Orange Store Postgame Show. Brad Bedell is currently getting a hot dog over. There's your boy Thomas Spurbeck trying to get in the door. They locked him out, but we're here at the James Kitchen and Bar, downtown Boise. Hope you guys can hear us okay. Let us know if you can. But we wanted to get over here. We sent Jaden Finch, our associate reporter, over to get the interviews. Spencer Danielson, Ashton Jeanty. But I did not want to miss this, so I made sure that I was here for the start of the show so we could chat with you guys and make sure we keep Brad and Ken under control here a little bit. But no, we're excited for this post-game show. It's going to be a lot of fun. Folks are trying to get in the door here, and that was your guest Tuesday for the show?
Well, we're trying to lock down Tom for Tuesday for Riley and Red. And yeah.
Well, let us know.
I do believe we got Tyler Shoemaker locked down. So,
well, as always, hope you can hear us okay. Let me give me a thumbs up or something. Let me know if you guys can hear us okay and if it sounds okay here on the Blue and Orange Store post-game show. But again, we're going to have some fun. Brad Bedell is going to join us shortly. He's literally down the street at the hot dog stand. Is that where he is?
Yes.
He's at the corner getting a hot dog. So
the worst part is I tried to get him a hot dog, and he said he was good. He'd already had 3. So
all right, well, get your comments in. Get your voicemails in. We'll try to play some voicemails if you want to. Speakpipe.com/BNN. Again, speakpipe.com/BNN. Let us know your thoughts on Ashton Jeanty, this game. But again,
I would like to say,
yes.
I went on the record 35-21. I said, but don't be surprised, 49-14.
Yep, and that late touchdown changed. Yeah, the late touchdown changed the score a little bit, but 45-24 is the final. Ashton Jeanty, again, 26 carries, 259 yards, 4 touchdowns. And Kent, I mean, what can you say? Just a phenomenal game by Ashton and a heck of a win for the team.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's he's a freak, and that's why he's up for the Heisman and should be. You know, I think he's clearly separating himself from most of the running backs in the country right now. Yeah, I mean, it's just fun to watch. And obviously everybody was concerned about the defense. Like, man, those guys played their ass off. It was fun to watch. How about the 4th down stop on the sneak? Had to be reviewed. I didn't think it should have been reviewed at all. I thought it was a no-brainer.
While you talk here.
In a shocking development, he's locked out. This looks like it's something out of a movie. So, but anyway, yeah, just, man, every phase was so good. It was so fun to watch. There's pure comedy going on here. My man's got a hot dog and he's got to go
around to the back entrance here. Yep. So I'll go let him in here for a second. Can you fill for another 30 seconds?
Yes, I can. But, you know, I thought in every phase, those guys did a phenomenal job. You know, Washington State hit a big play kind of there at I think it was their maybe second play of the game or whatever. And guys just didn't quite hit their gaps. And then they figured that out. And, you know, I was really, really impressed with the defense, obviously Ashton, and then the play action game coming out of there. And, you know, shoot, Maddox, I think, finished 12 for 21. He had a couple balls maybe batted down or something, but thought he played well. Talked about the interceptions. Got one right before halftime, was a huge play. So, yeah, I mean, it's just the other thing I probably can't say enough about was just the atmosphere tonight. You know, it was.
I'll get a video loaded in while you're talking about that. But a record crowd, 37,711. We said that might happen, and it was the largest crowd in the history of the stadium.
Yeah, and they were loud. We were loud. I mean, I was part of that. I mean, 3rd downs. You know, Washington State actually probably handled it better than most, but still had some key penalties, which I attribute to the crowd. And you know, God, I mean, just what a fun atmosphere, and look forward to repeating it again next week.
They had 4 full starts, right?
I think it was 4, yeah. And some
delay
really,
games as well.
Yeah, to me, the other part was the delay of games. I mean, those don't count as false starts, but that was certainly part of it. They're trying to figure everything out, and it's loud, trying to get everything communicated. And
I got to tell you what, though, show as well. They did I think it was somewhere in the 3rd quarter. They had everyone got their phones out, and they did the wave with the lights. I mean, it was just, look at this. It's pretty cool to hear the lights doing the wave. This is big time. This is big time.
I mean, that was me right there. Haven't played at Alabama, LSU, you know, some of those places. I mean, this is, I would say that rivals that type of environment at night. Now, we're a little smaller, but.
Well, no, I agree. The smaller doesn't matter. It's atmosphere. It's what you have, right?
Right.
And I'll tell you what, that place was rocking going into
and they didn't leave either. Give the students credit. They're in the 4th quarter. They all stayed.
Yeah, nobody left until the game was clearly out of hand. My son actually was texting me and said, look for bad beats on
what happened?
Well,
the over-under, I think.
The overhit. Yeah.
It was like 62, 63, something, 64,
and
something like that.
the cheap one at the end. So I don't think it was probably bad enough for bad beats, but
no,
it's on
bad.
there.
I love a good bad beat.
Hey,
I didn't
that's
have
a
it.
great story.
By the way, Clemson came through.
No, but that's a great story. Monday nights, I mean, we'd be working till God only knows when. And, you know, we actually paused everything.
Screamed, bad beats coming through.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be like 11 o'clock, you know, whatever, and we'd all stop watching.
Well,
fortunately, we actually made it most weeks.
Yeah. Did you guys touch on the sacks?
We have not. 7 sacks tonight. And again, the first carry, we talked about the quarterback, for an hour on the pregame show. His first carry, first play of the game, right up the middle for 52 yards.
I touched on that one.
Yes, 52 yards right up the middle on his first carry.
You left me alone.
Oh, you did. Well, I was letting Brad in the back. Okay.
Yeah.
7 sacks. But here's the number that I'll throw out to you guys. 52 yards on that first carry up the middle. Then he had 19 carries for negative 24 yards. Let's see, 38. 19 carries for I know the negative yards count as the sacks. But he had a couple scrambles. But for the most part, after that first rush, they really kept the quarterback in the pocket and didn't let him run much.
What I said, well, you guys were away and probably most of the people weren't even watching, but they just they misfit a gap. Guy didn't get in there. No, I'm saying guy didn't get into his gap, and had he, it probably would have spilled right to the other guy coming off the edge.
Agreed.
But they fix it right away, and it was basically a non-issue the rest of the game. So, man, I tell you, in my mind, tremendous coaching job. Those guys were phenomenal. We all had concern. Well, there were a lot of concerns by people going into the game.
Oh, I did. I
thought they did a phenomenal job. I mean, we said it. Hey, Washington State's a good team. They're going to make some plays here and there, whether it's a run up the middle, a throw. They played a lot of 0 and 1.
They did. They played man, came out and played man, and said, we're going to load the box and take it away from you. And right, wrong. I mean, if you look at the stats, right? Jeanty had his yards. There was negative yards, positive yards. The first huge gain, the first touchdown, there was 4 dudes in the backfield. He stiff armed 2 and took it off.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a difference maker. I mean, if there's anything about Heisman, not Heisman, that's a whole argument for later, right? But I will tell you this. The kid is something special. He's the best back. You've been here. You coached the stable. You've been in there. In my opinion, I'll throw it out. He's the best back to ever come out of Boise State.
He's got to be up there in terms of best players ever to come out of Boise State here before it's all said and done. He surpassed 3,000 career rushing yards tonight, 10th all-time for Boise State, tied for with Cedric Minner now, 4 200-yard games as well. And, I mean, guys, he's already he's at 850 rushing yards for the season in 4 games here. 13 touchdowns already.
I love all those guys, so I'm not – there's no chance
that's
I'm
what I'm saying.
picking
No, you shouldn't. And nor should you. That's why I'm kind of here too, right? I mean, I love Alexander Madison for all of my being. I love him. Alexander Madison's not breaking those tackles in the backfield that Ashton Jeanty is. And I love him. I love him to death.
No, I know. Yeah.
And
that's all I'm saying.
Well, it's just the combination of the ability to break the tackles, the ability to not go down, and then when he gets in the open field, he's fast enough to blow by people. I mean, he literally looks like the total package.
Not to mention the blitzes, him in protection. It's something special.
I would be surprised, as we go on through the year, if you're not seeing more and more, maybe GMs showing up at games.
No doubt. He's special. I mean, he's a first round, second round talent. The other thing I want to talk about this game is we talked about, us three talked about keeping the quarterback on the spot, right? Don't get him out of the pocket. Keep the D ends, keep them high, even.
Half sacks, all that. They collapse the pocket.
They collapse the pocket a ton.
Hey,
and he did convert some. He did convert,
which we said he was going to
do. But
we've got the Jackson's Ahmed sack deal on
He got
Monday.
one of the 7. Yep. 91-cent coffee or fountain drink on Monday.
We missed the Breezy bundle because they subbed him out to put Ashton in and get a touchdown there at the end, which, I think Ashton did all the work, so hard to do that. But, very excited.
I think it's if you want to look at, let's look at this. You want to talk about an overall team win, right? Let's take it from here to here, right? So let's go here to special teams to defense offense, because we're offensive guys. Special teams did their job.
Yep.
I mean, really a solid outing.
Really good. Yeah.
Really.
And especially because they had to go to the backup punter.
Which is a I did it. I'm sorry. I was really trying. That was roughing. It was his plant leg.
Yeah, I think he's going to be fine. I would assume he'd be back next week. I mean, he might have a little ankle
that bothered me,
whatever,
though. That bothered me. That's a penalty. That's a 15-yard penalty. That extends a drive. I'm sorry. Trust me, I'm not a huge kicking guy.
Folks,
but go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No. So then special teams solid. Defense, I'm going to go on this. I'm going to go almost
dominant.
I
would agree.
Dominant.
I would agree.
That's dominant. For what they have been pulling up is dominant.
Yep.
Go
Absolutely.
to offense. I would say this. Come out the blocks hot, which you talked about. Start fast. Had a lull in the second. Come out in the third. Get a 3 and out. And then here we go. We're going. So
even finish the second quarter really well.
Agreed. Well, they had the pick, right, which is a turnover.
Mhm.
And they also had a turnover on downs.
Yep.
So it's even, and then you come out in the second half and it's dominant, and then the offense took over.
Yep.
So you want to talk about an overall team win? This is as good as you're going to get in an overall team win, in my opinion.
Brad, I did not hear a K on the word. I think you made it, so we will reward you. There you go. You can have folks are like demanding you guys have a couple cold ones and loosen up a little bit here. So there you go.
I want to go with this, and I didn't get it, and I wasn't here. I had for the people on the show. I had to get a hot dog. I was starving. If you didn't have chills running down your spine walking into that stadium, you're a loser. And I'll tell you right now, you are a flat out loser, and you don't love college football. I walked into that thing, and I walked in a hair late.
Don't knock over your what's the cord there?
Yeah, I walked in a hair late, and I'll tell you this right now, chills running down my spine, thinking this is it. This is college football. Here we go.
Shout out to Jeremiah, Cody. I mean, the whole crew. Like getting into the stadium was. I mean, the lines were it looked long, and then all of a sudden you're in. Getting the seats was no big deal. No lines for, at least where I was, no lines for.
I had zero, but I was late, and I had to get a beer before. You want to talk about the atmosphere? Pardon me. I sat next, and I'm not going to mention his name. I sat next to a gentleman who has been a season ticket holder for 47 years. His 3 kids were there. His 6 grandchildren were there. Not that he sponsored George Holani. And I was like, oh my God. And he looked at me and he's like, Coach Bedell? And I was like, yeah, loose term. And he goes, no. Coach Pittman? And I was like, no, I'm Brad Bedell. And he goes, George Holani and Jeanty are the definition of Boise State football.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't argue with that.
And there's so many
more.
I would
add more.
So many more guys.
Rippin, I would add a lot more. But, and then I'm sitting next to somebody. You want a special moment in life, and if you guys don't have that, is for an outsider who's been on the field and all that, and then get to somebody who's been a part of this culture and this Boise State football and sit next to him for an entire football game is the most pleasurable experience I've ever had.
Yeah. It's just awesome. The fan experience, I hope, was great for everybody in the stands. I know it was for me. I would hope if you ask the players, the coaches, I feel like I know what they're going to say. It was phenomenal. We keep that up the rest of the year, and I mean, be tough to beat.
And this game was a close game, obviously 7-point lead at the half. I thought a huge play was middle third quarter. Rodney Robinson gets a huge sack. 13-point loss coming in. Awesome. And then they end up they were in field goal range. That put them back, and they had to punt. And then Boise State, I think it was a couple plays later, they end up scoring. I guess, and there was a fourth down, a couple fourth and shorts, third and shorts too.
I want to, because for a year and a half now or whatever, Rodney and Tubner get picked on all the time. Those guys freaking are balling. Ty Benefield, all those guys, it's easy to pick on the DBs, right? Because every time a pass is much like yeah, I was just gonna say, much like I actually watched. I was watching a game today, and the running back, I think it was the Baylor game, running back gave up a sack, and they go, running back gave up a sack. Oh, the O-line struggle, and I'm like, like whatever. Anyway, but Rodney and Tubes, those guys. It's easy to pick on those guys. You have no idea what else is going into what their coverage looks like and all that stuff. Those guys freaking made some big plays, and it was awesome.
Because some of them
so fired up for those guys. Zion Washington, Shea.
They lost 13, 15 yards on some of those sacks too, just changing field position.
No doubt. And asked them, from what I saw, asked them to play man.
Yeah.
They played some man this game. That was a change up from pass game.
Absolutely.
They played some man to add the blitzer to get the quarterback out of the pocket.
The D staff, phenomenal job. Like you said, O staff. I mean, you'll never hear me as an offensive coach, like whatever Dirk says, like I'm on board.
Yeah, the defense
so I'm not gonna, but the defense defense was phenomenal, and I thought the special teams did an unbelievable job.
A lot of comments, a lot of things people want us to talk about. One of them is the safety or non-call on the safety. I think they called forward progress, but a lot of folks are demanding, saying, why wasn't that a safety there?
I couldn't see, the TV view or whatever, so I can't say. And they must, I actually don't think Spence took the
timeout to challenge.
I think that was more of a reminder, like, we got these dudes backed up, stay off the punter. Like, let's not give them a freebie. Right. But in the meantime, they were certainly looking at
and forward progress is not reviewable for folks that are asking. So if they did call forward progress, there's nothing they could do on that.
But also, let's talk about this. How smart let's talk about game management, which you did a lot of game management. How smart is that? You take the timeout and they're going to punt. We all know they're going to punt.
You give them a chance to review it if possible without challenging.
So
you don't waste that.
You're going to waste the
And
time
you get to remind all your guys, like, hey, guys, we got these guys in a bad situation.
No doubt.
Do not, stay off the punter.
Yeah, don't hit the punter and get another first down. And it wasn't necessarily a timeout to challenge. The challenge is a benefit. It's like, I just want to talk to my guys and not hit the punter. Yeah. And if it's a safety, we get 2 and we get the ball.
And I would even say, relative to the special team stuff, like Cooper Jones running around back there as the main returner tonight. I know he didn't have many yards, but that dude came flying out of nowhere a couple times, caught the ball, kept it from rolling around. A couple of them were like right in the middle of our guys.
Yeah.
And if he's not up there, if he's just pointing, Peter, like, you never know where that ball is going to go. So instead, he's flying up there to
hit yards. You talked about it. That's a first
a lot of his uncle, Tim Gilligan. So, fired up about that.
We've got almost 500 just watching on YouTube right now. That may be a record for Bronco Nation News. We're at 1,500 and something viewers right now, guys. Folks are fired up about this one at 12:09 a.m. here Mountain Time.
And this wasn't a big game.
Who said that? This is a huge game. I guess Fox said that. They picked Oregon, UCLA with a 26-point spread. Before you say that, though, for the 500 of you watching on YouTube, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, help us out here on Bronco Nation News. So if you're just finding our channel, you search on YouTube, subscribe, like. We'd appreciate all that good stuff.
Do we have announcers? I know we have a game time next week. Do we have announcers?
I swear to God, and I'm glad you said that.
Oh, you're not going to like this.
You're not going to like this. Hold on. Let me go on a tangent, and I promise you, I'm not going to go on a cussing tangent. Why?
Yeah, would they broadcast from the studio?
God bless it, mother.
And you don't even have to listen to it. They were saying that, folks. Let us know what you thought of the broadcast remotely here in the chat. But I heard it didn't go very well.
Are we doing that? The same thing?
Not only they're doing that, and not only is it not Fox next week, it's not FS1 next week. It's FS2. FS2 at 5:00 next week. So you can probably expect that they'll have the. They will. They said, "Let it out, Brad."
I was really trying to make a. I thought maybe it might not be too late. Maybe we get Mark Helfrich here.
This is totally screwed.
Okay, 5:00 though. I mean, they decided this last week before this game, and
it's Parents' Weekend.
Yeah.
It's Parents' Weekend to all the parents out there. Awesome.
They're saying it felt awkward the whole game. Horrible broadcast.
I would say
total
this.
BS.
That's
It was
a bad
awful.
idea. It's just a bad idea.
Started during COVID. They just say you can save a lot of money and not travel all the.
I don't give a shit. It's college football. It's college football. Yeah, I did it. I said that's one. It's college football. And for a team that's going for the playoff in a big game that is tonight, and you're going to do this broadcast from LA, and you have a Heisman Trophy, in my opinion, candidate. Give the respect where respect is due. In my opinion,
I agree. 1,000% agree. I just, yeah. I mean, I don't.
Hashtag what do get healthy to Boise.
What do you think the opening line might be in this game?
They're already saying that in the chat. 24, 25, maybe.
Yeah.
I didn't. Utah State, were they on a bye this week? I don't even know if they.
I think they were on a bye. So
well, it hurts. I
don't imagine it's going to be a.
I'll predict it 31.5.
Wow, that seems a little high, maybe.
High? Are you high?
No, I think 24, 25.
Probably.
24, 25. No, I did not. They're saying, yeah, there's all kinds of guesses in there, but I usually go back either later tonight or tomorrow and rewatch the game, and it's obvious. You can tell they're not there. It is Bush League. They're saving some money.
Yeah,
we watched it once.
They're saving some money. I like to hear what the announcers say. You miss some stuff. Believe it or not, I'm actually up there working and looking stuff up, and I don't see every play sometimes. But okay, so fourth down, Washington State was 2 of 5 in this game on fourth down. A couple of third and short, fourth and short. I mentioned Mateer. There was that big one where I think it was Marco Notriani came in and got him, and then they gave him the first down. Then they reviewed it and said, nope, they didn't get it. And
that was the quarterback sneak.
And that was like at their own 30 or their own 35.
Or did they review the quarterback sneak and that one?
They did multiple ones, I think. But that was the one where he kept it. And they were at their own 35, I think, and they gambled and didn't get it. Or 27, I think it was maybe. And they were inside their own, deep in their own territory.
Like I said, shout out to the defense. Those guys were freaking phenomenal tonight.
Is Brad, is Washington State a little overrated, or did Boise State just play great?
I can't.
You hype Washington State up a little bit, or is this all just Boise State playing great?
No.
Washington State, we looked at their schedule.
Undefeated.
Right?
They're undefeated.
We looked at their schedule. Washington State, Oregon State.
Their schedule's
Washington State, Oregon State will be a big game for both of them.
They did beat Washington.
They did beat Washington.
So what? And I know for everybody's going to Washington just lost to Rutgers. I don't care. It's the Apple Cup. It's one of the greatest. I'm a rivalry guy. I've said that on Wednesdays, right? I'm a rivalry guy. Anytime you can win an Apple Cup, that's why they had the letdown to San Jose. And for anybody who says, oh, there's no letdowns, that's a letdown, right? Like you have.
And they won.
And they won. They beat them. It's an undefeated team coming in here that got the brakes beat off of them. And you know what? Let's not take a win away from Boise and this staff, and really mainly these players. Let's not take a great win now.
And a big win.
And we can't, and let's not get a letdown next week with a below average Utah State team that's in flux. But Jeremiah,
Utah State had a bye this week. They're going to come in ready to play next week. And
they're ass.
I'm not saying they're not.
They're ass.
I'm not saying they're not. But
I love Cephalo.
I'm just saying those guys are going to come in ready to play.
They might, but
our guys can't take a week off. No, that's all I'm saying.
Like anything else, you can't take a week off.
Fans can't take a week off. Players can't take.
Nobody can take a week off, and it's Spencer's job to not let him take a week off. And that's the one thing about they got him on the blue. You hold them true. Like, guys, we can go undefeated on the blue. If you go undefeated on the blue, that is the most special thing you can do.
No doubt.
Which I'm just putting stats out there. I did a story before the Portland State game, but the last 3 years, they were 13-6 on the blue. They had a stretch from 1999 to 2014. It was like 104. They literally never lost. They had like 6 undefeated seasons in a row or something, whatever it was. And the last 3 years, part of what, did the previous coach in was they lost 3 home games in a row at one point. You might have still been on staff that year. I forget but it was 13-6. And
that's 1980.
Yeah.
17. Who did we play in 17? Was that Virginia?
Yeah.
We lost on the blue.
They crushed it.
They beat our brakes off, and I'll never forget that. And you don't have, and this is
embarrassing.
It was embarrassing, and you don't. This is a guy coming from the outside in, right? You've been a part of the program, and it was like a funeral. It's a funeral in that locker room. Yeah. And it's not like there's a loss, right? Like you lose as a team, you know, and you go in the locker room, it's a funeral. And I'm like, guys, we're going to be okay. And they look at me and they go, we just lost in the blue, coach. I don't think you get it. And I go, no, I get it. And he goes like, and the players, the older players, Mason, I'll never forget Mason. He looks at me, he goes, we lost. And I go, I know. He goes, no. Coach, we lost at home. We don't do that here. And I'm like, I think I went to you, Rid, and I was like, hey, Mason's. He's like, we don't lose here. This is a lot. This is bad. And in the sense of pride that these players carry, it's like the tangent I went on last Saturday, right? Like the players play, they care. When you don't lose at home here.
Yeah.
In Utah State may be ass, and I think they are ass. But you have them on the blue, and that's where you already have your hands around their throat, and now it's just like choke them out.
Yeah, and Spencer said that last week. You know, there were times in previous years where you just knew somebody would make a play. You knew there was no way they were going to lose on the blue. It just wasn't going to happen. It was as we joked about Rocky Long. You know, they made fun of him for saying there was this mystique, or the mystique's no more. But there was just this. You just knew they'd find a way to make a play, and that hasn't always been the case. But yeah, if they can get back to what they did tonight, you know, dominating on the blue, it certainly is going to become.
Well, it makes it a lot easier when you turn around and hand the ball to number
Yes,
two.
I want to talk a little more about Jeanty. I want to get into a couple other things as well. As you can imagine, there's some comments about the quarterback as well. For
no shit.
We'll get to that here in a second. Western Collective are one of our sponsors. The Horseshoe Golden Ale, make sure you check it out. The Horseshoe Golden Ale, the Orange Chaos Seltzer. They are available inside Albertson Stadium. Most local retailers as well. Make sure you check those out. Western Collective and the Orange Chaos Seltzer. Make sure you check them at Bronco Nation News and the Horseshoe Golden Ale. RoePaint.com, our title sponsor. Check them out, ROEPaint.com. There would be no Bronco Nation News without RoePaint.com. So thank the sponsors, folks. That next painting project, whether it's a concrete coating, whether it's the interior, exterior painting, make sure you check out our friends at RoePaint.com, ROEPaint.com. Check them out. Best in the business. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. I know there's a branch pretty much on every corner, with that mobile e-branch online banking is the easiest. Make sure you check it out. ICCU.com, Idaho Central Credit Union, and Tyson Degenhardt show coming up here shortly. Bauscher Real Estate, #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley for a reason. Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Check him out, BauscherRealEstate.com. He's not part of the Boise State home team, and you can support him. Return the favor at BauscherRealEstate.com. Shop Ridley's Family Markets, 13 locations across the state of Idaho, surrounding states. Check it out, ShopRidleys.com. And again, download their Skip app. Get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line. Shop Ridley's, ShopRidleys.com. All right, guys, we bring it back here live. We are at the James Kitchen and Bar. We're having a lot of fun on the post-game show, and a couple topics to discuss here. I will. Let's. Do you want to go quarterback or Jeanty? Where do you guys want to?
Do you have any voicemail? Oh shit!
What? Get your head there.
Do you have any voicemail?
We can check. I didn't do a good job of promoting those. So if somebody wants to put a voicemail in, we can try to get those into the system.
Is that John Reagan?
John Reagan did have one a couple days ago. That's your boy?
I love
John Reagan.
Yes. Yeah, he had one yesterday or the day before. But let's talk about the quarterback, because a ton of people, and I know you guys, I don't know, I assume, Kent, you're going to try to assure everyone that it's all fine and well with the quarterback and they won the game, kind of the coach perspective. But a lot of the fans are saying 12 of 21, 184 yards, the 2 touchdowns, the 1 interception, 57% completion percentage. During the game, it was worse. You know, a couple of completions to Matt Lauder did help the numbers late a little bit. But overall, your thoughts on Maddox Madsen and where he's at right now? And obviously, a lot of fans during the game were calling for Malachi.
Stop.
What do you guys think on the quarterback?
I think that's awesome. Fans are fans. Yeah, and hey, look, I'm all about the fans showing up and being supportive and all that stuff. But like, Jesus, how many times are we going to talk about this? We've got apparently a lot of people out there that know better than Dirk Cutter. So Matt Miller, Nate Potter, Tim Keene, Coach James Montgomery.
Should I say it again? Should I say it again? Stop.
They said Madsen needs to get his confidence built early with some short passes.
No.
I think he started 1 of 5 on the game, had the pick.
The pick wasn't his fault. It was a tip ball. Tip balls are what?
Tip balls or picks.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
They're pick balls. It's a tip ball. That tip balls are pick balls. Okay, that's a fact. It's a fact. If you go back to the edge of time, tip balls or pick balls. Don't give me this. Get him out of the pocket. And then do we want to talk about the great throws he made to Matt Lauder for explosive plays? You want to talk about that? Do you want to talk about the
whenever they happen in the game? Whenever they happen. It doesn't matter. I mean
I'm sorry. And you're you guys are homers. So
who
shut your mouth.
No, like how's Boise State built to win?
You're going to run the football and go
with the best
play
guy
action.
in college football, right?
In my opinion.
So
we'll get back to Jeanty in a minute. Yeah.
No, but
that helps the quarterback.
But so, yeah, I mean they had
12 of 21, 184 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception.
And
you mentioned
what's the most?
A win.
Thank you.
How about Matt Lauder though? Again, 4 catches, 96 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's finally becoming that just kind of
it's my dog, man.
Threat and kind of key piece of the offense the last 2 weeks that we've been waiting and expecting him to do.
Met his goal.
Okay. Hey, just out of curiosity though, what does everybody say that the tight end should be doing though?
Blocking,
catching 10 passes a game.
No, where do we have to throw the ball to the tight end? This like everybody's question to me. We got to control the middle of the field with the tight end.
Okay.
Middle of the field. Like, how many of those did he catch in the middle of the field? 1, maybe. Yeah, those were.
I think the over route put him outside the box, but converted to
my point
play.
My point being, we spend a lot of time like reciting stuff people watch during NFL football. Like, oh, they got to have separation. Tight end's got to control the middle of the field. We're listening to people who don't even know what the hell they're talking about. So
say it again, Rick. Say it again.
The play action though, late in the game, everybody thought Jenny was going to get it. It was either 4th and 1 or 3rd and 1. I forget what it was there.
Yeah, Matt
the play action, and Matt couldn't have been more open on that one.
Dude, that guy's a baller, and he does such a great job blocking that it opens him up in the pass game. And you talk about a guy that like really has just owned his role. I mean, he is a dominating blocking tight end. And because of that, he becomes open in the pass game.
He's an NFL guy.
Yeah, he's not
an NFL guy. I would say
maybe he is Travis Kelce. I mean, I'm not saying, but he's probably more like George Kittle, where he does a little bit of everything, and And I'm not trying to tell you.
He's a heck of a blocker too.
That's your hot dog.
And I'm not trying to say that he's going to be, George Kittle in the NFL, because
no,
I mean let's
not put that on him. But I think he's a great. I think
he's a baller.
I'll put him in the same sentence at Boise State as a Bates.
Yeah,
he's a great blocker. Gets open when he has to get open. Let's go back to the quarterback situation. First, it's not a situation. I will say this, and I'll play devil's advocate. Like any other quarterback in college football today, he missed some throws. That's not flash news. You're going to miss a few throws. I mean, it is what it is. Now, I would also say this, and I'll play devil's advocate, and this is going to open up a whole Pandora's box. I would say Maddox got hit more tonight than he has since the start of the year.
Yeah.
He had to rush a couple of throws. He was getting pressured. Yeah.
Because Wazzu knew
they
that.
have better talent. Yeah. They have better talent than what has been played tonight. So
Oregon has good talent. Anyway.
Yeah, that's fair. But when your running back runs for almost 300 yards.
Let's talk about Jeanty. I mean, I put on Twitter a couple of times, like, I hope folks realize what they're witnessing here. And I know it's easy to kind of, be prisoner of the moment and talk about this. And you mentioned Rid. There's a lot of great players and backs here, but you look at the season that he's now putting together. Georgia Southern, 20 carries, 267 yards. Oregon, 25 carries, 192 yards. In the first half against Portland State, 11 carries, 127 yards. So it was on pace to be well over 200 yards again. And then tonight, to do what he did, just so impressive. And again, 26 carries, 259 yards. He now has 5 rushing touchdowns in 4 games of at least 50 yards. He's up to 13 rushing touchdowns on the season. His average yards per carry is over 10 for the season. Brad, I'm going to show a couple of these touchdowns while we're talking. But
who recruited him? Who recruited him?
I was going to get into that. You were a big part of his recruitment, right?
And Winston.
Yeah, you guys did. And so that's important to me. I want to make sure and call people where it's going, right? Rid, you recruit him and Winston. Shout out to Winston. He was the running backs coach. You're the area guy.
Tell us what you saw going back to the beginning with Ashton.
Exactly. Tell the whole story.
He was very explosive, played mostly receiver his junior year. Was like a slot guy, but very explosive. Had a little bit of film as a tailback and was like, hey, wow. So
didn't get through the first round
of reviews, but Tim Plow, credit to him, was like, went back and watched him, was like, this dude's a baller. Like, we need to get this guy, up here and get him.
Boise State football.
Yeah. And Ashton came to a workout because that was the one year you could bring guys in for workouts, not camp.
Right.
And literally went through the bags one time. And I remember looking at Andy and Andy looking at me like, I'm like, yeah.
That's important. And, that's important.
And we told him like, hey, you're good on the workout. Like, he went through the bags.
Bye, Felicia.
He was maybe like wanted to do something more, and Andy's like, no, you're good, man.
Yeah,
scholarship, you're good.
By the way, shout out Tim Plow. They just beat Idaho. Give it up for UC Davis.
That does not shock me.
Well, I just wanted to make sure.
Plow took a lot of abuse here. That dude's a
what was
he's a good.
And I know Jeanty though at the time didn't have it. Like, I know some schools came in late though, right?
Yeah,
but I mean, he didn't have
Oklahoma State late.
TCU, I think too, maybe, or I forget who else.
Yeah.
But
but that's a character that young man.
What else? Yeah, what else did you see in him? I guess. And you mentioned the workout and all that kind of stuff. But just was it pretty? Pretty easy to tell. I mean, I don't know if you're projecting the Heisman campaign,
I thought it was very easy.
Yeah,
to tell.
First round.
Like in terms of, did I know he was going to be a first round Heisman guy? No, but I knew he was damn good enough to play here at Boise State. He honestly reminded me a ton of Jeremy McNichols, guy that could run the ball, catch the ball, block, kind of do everything.
Special.
What was the recruiting process like with his family and stuff too?
He has the best family you could ever hope to work with. His dad's a military guy. Ashton grew up for a long time. Maybe a long time is right, but he was in Germany for a while. They ended up moving back to Frisco, Texas, Lone Star High School, trying to get him where he could be recruited. Because if you're being recruited on a Air Force base in Germany, that might be a little
rough. Outside in. Let's go outside in. And it's important to me that Rid gets that. Like, I know everybody's gonna say, like, I love Rid. Let's go outside in. There's a school in the continental United States that offered him $500,000.
Yeah.
And I know that for a fact.
I think that's more like $750,000.
Maybe $750,000. Yeah. And a young man that comes in and has an open, and him and his family, and I wasn't a part of this, right? I was gone. And his family.
So was I. But
that's bullshit. Anyways, that family comes in and is an honest to the program and says, hey, this is what he's going to get if we leave. I want this if we stay. And everything just matched up. It's not a kid that took the money and ran.
No.
Right? It's, I love Boise. I'm a Boise State guy, and I want to be a part of something special that Boise has.
That's why when we get the chance to talk about like the collective and stuff like that, it's a big deal. Hey, we're never going to match dollar for dollar what maybe other people are given. But if we can make these guys feel special early enough on,
I agree.
Like, and then take care of them to where they're like, I'm good. Like that's our advantage.
And you know what? For me, outside looking in, I love the kid even more. And he's a great running back. Take football out of it. I mean, shit. He can carry the ball. He can protect. He's an NFL back. Yada, yada, yada. The character.
Him still being here says all you need to know.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, I could say
I was wondering though, we were talking about this in the press box. Say he were only say he was putting out this season right now and still had to have another year of college under his belt, what he would potentially get on the open market next year.
Real deal.
And if Boise State could potentially keep him.
That's a fair
And John Mallory was like, hey, what if he said, hey, I want to make $5 million in college next year and just stays for another year? Was there a school that would pay him? I don't know what the highest NIL deal ever is, but
pay him $5 million.
But I mean, but if he had another year, I mean, and he may still be here.
Well, I mean, you got to go. The market for an NFL running back right now is not the highest, right?
Yeah.
Running backs for a dime a dozen in the NFL. In college, they're the cream of the crop. If you don't have a great running back, it's like a great quarterback or a great O-line. A great running game opens up the passing game. And I honestly, in my heart, in just knowing the background of this young man and talking to people, I honestly think he's like, I'm good if you pay me this. And I'm a huge proponent. And I actually retweeted it. If you go to my Twitter, and please don't put it out. Nick Saban put it out the greatest thing of all time today on game day. And if you don't go back and watch Nick Saban on game day today, he summed it up. He's like, the players can't control everything. We're going to give them what they get. I get it, but stop with all the money. And he's a young man that said, you know what? I am more culture than I am money. And I think that's the way you can sum them up.
And it goes both ways too, because like obviously they took care of him. I mean, and who knows if they're going to keep taking care of him more, as the season goes on and whatever his deal was. But like Boise State is getting a ton of extra attention out of this. They're winning. I mean, of course they're winning games, but they're also, it's not just Ashton Jeanty. It's, Boise State's Ashton Jeanty. Like the school benefits a lot as well in terms of the marketing and a lot of that stuff too.
It's team. It's a culture brand.
Now I showed this video earlier, Brad, before these fans have the Heisman flag and everything. They were chanting. One of you guys were still in the stadium. They're chanting Heisman, during the game. I know for a group of 5 running back, it's certainly extremely difficult. But I mean, is he? I mean, if he continues to do what he is doing, and this is one of the touchdown runs here, Brad. I believe this is the last one where the cannon went off on the when he was still at the 20-yard line.
There's 1, there's 2, there's 3,
and then it didn't look like he was going to quite get there, 4. But he finds a way to spin, keep moving, work his way in. I mean, is it? The
first touchdown of the game, he had literally 5.
We got that one too. We'll switch over to that. This is
5 guys.
This was the 5th play of the game, already the 4th run for Ashton. Gets the ball, comes through.
That's 4 guys in the backfield. And you know what?
Everybody knew it's over right there.
Yeah, he's like,
Spencer's the first fastest one. Chink from down there.
That's not great. That's not great.
Point though, like, I mean, again, I know it's kind of we're in Boise. We're maybe we see it from a different perspective. But I mean, is this the guy that's? I mean, if he continues this, is he going to be in New York?
Well, yeah, if he continues it, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, the last guy was in New York.
I mean, we're 4 games into it.
That's what. And I guess that's kind of my point. But I mean, he's going to break 1,000 rushing yards in week 5 next week.
Yes,
it's 1,000. Yes. But let's not. Hold on.
How do you put in perspective what he's doing right now?
Had another guy that went to New York, right?
Yeah.
He's the winningest quarterback of all time. Am I right or wrong? Am I right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Did he get it? So let's not get our hope.
I would say this though.
Don't get your hopes.
No, but I think it'd be a win for Boise State fans if he just got to New York. I think the goal is, can he get to New York? Can he be a finalist?
Well,
can he be a finalist, Brad? I mean, is that
yes?
And most people on the chat, maybe let me know if I'm wrong. I mean, you obviously want him to win, but I think for Boise State, a group of 5 type school.
Okay.
The goal is just to get him to New York, and that's a win.
Get it, Rick.
The only point I'm trying to make is we're talking about stuff they're not even kind of thinking about right now. They're like, we're 4 games into this shit.
No, I'm getting it, but let's have fun. Let's have fun.
No, is he one of the best players in college football? Without question.
Yeah.
And if he continues this, he will be the best player in college football. Agree. But
does he get it? No.
We're 4 games into this. I mean,
I think as of right now, we're next week, we're halfway, right?
They've played. They're 3-1. No, they still have 7 games. I mean, they've played 4 games. They got 7 games
4,
left.
So 5. Let's go 300.
Plus a championship game. I mean, I know the whole Heisman voting is due before that. But I mean, for a season stats, though, they count.
Championship games.
But yeah.
So I think he's a 2,000-yard back. Does he have the opportunity to be in New York? Yes.
Doak Walker Award, though, is that certainly in play?
Yes. He's the best running back. I mean, Oklahoma State can't get that kid going, right? So that's tit for tat, right?
Right.
So it was Jeanty or is the Oklahoma State kid? I'm
UCF
sorry, UCF guy. I'm sorry, I forgot the Oklahoma State kid.
Ollie Gordon.
Thank you, Rid. He was the cream. That was the mark was set with Ollie Gordon. Ollie Gordon hasn't gotten going. Boise State has got Jeanty going. So is he the Doak Walker? Yeah. Is he the Heisman Trophy winner right now? No.
So he's at 845 rushing yards through 4 games. So he's averaging 211 rushing yards per
What
game.
he's doing is phenomenal at this point.
Yeah.
We're trying to speculate like what's going to happen. Like shit.
I guess my point is, no doubt. But I mean, it was a point there in the second half where, like, I mean, every time you knew, especially when they were up, they were going to run the football, and it was like, can't take my eyes off this. What's Jeanty going to do now? I mean, he's can't miss with him when he gets the ball in his hands now.
Second quarter, it was a tackle for loss.
So
second quarter didn't go as the first quarter.
Yeah.
Second quarter didn't go as the third quarter.
The same as everybody else on here, but I'm watching this the same on here or different. I'm watching all the things they're doing to protect him running the ball. Fake reverse on one.
Speed motion.
Like all those things they're doing to protect it because they know if one guy has a chance to tackle him, they're going to be okay.
Well, especially what Washington State was doing. I mean, I love Josh Schmetting. I do. I love him. Speed motion, rotate the safeties. That takes the high safety out of the run game on the cutback lane. So the one-on-one is no longer there. It's gone. The void in the box is gone. And so instead of they didn't want to play man, right, wrong.
Yep.
They didn't have one running to insert the safety on the backside. And if you're a zone team, the backside is vulnerable. Hence when I said that first run, the backside had a lot of penetration and he had to break a lot of tackles.
Mm-hmm.
But when they started motioning and rocking and rolling the safeties, that extra, like we talked about Wednesday, we talked about today, right? That safety that was supposed to fit in the box, they by formation and
trying to take that guy out of
and play design, they took him out of it.
Or they force him to go backside and run front side.
Yeah.
Either one.
Go ahead. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, so, you're dealing with in terms of guys trying to figure out how to run the ball. I mean, Nate Potter, Tim Keene, Dirk Cutter, Matt, Coach James Montgomery. I mean,
what's the plan to stop? I mean, what are teams going to be? I mean, aside from putting 11 guys in the box,
I'm playing man. Zero and man.
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing.
9 guys in the box.
Yeah, I'm playing.
Here's the problem with zero. You beat one guy.
Live or die by it. You live or die by it. And if you're going to do that, if you play man,
I said that the other day, BJ. Right? I mean, said, hey. The advantage of playing as an offense, playing everybody in the boxes, you make one guy miss, it's over.
Agreed.
So
and with man, if you run a guy in motion or speed sweep, and you can insert the safety, you're creating a one-on-one. When you rock and roll, the cutback lane and your support defender is no longer in the box. And you know what? That creates right now explosive plays on a cutback if you're running zone type system. If you're running duo and duo, I can't even define it for people here, but if you're running duo, insert the safety. If you're gonna run speed sweep motion with duo, the guy's gone. It's formation, it's game planning. They did a great job game planning what they thought and make the adjustments what they thought when they were rock and rolling the safeties.
What's the most, you've been around a lot of good running backs, played with some, coached some, but what's the most impressive thing to you about what Ashton Jeanty does?
Breaks tackles. He breaks tackles. He's a stiff arm guy. And his height is not his height is his weakness and his strength. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
he's hard to bring down.
He's low center of gravity. He breaks tackles. And then
I saw a little Pat McAfee.
Cream of the crop, though. I'll say this because I saw it tonight. Cream of the crop, he'll protect the passer.
Absolutely.
By the way, Logan Brown says he's on pace for the next 11 games, 3,235 rushing yards and 50 touchdowns.
Yeah, well, if he does that,
that's an NCAA record.
If he does that, he'll win it.
Win it.
I'm just going to walk out on that ledge.
Yeah, if he rushes for 3,000 yards, I'm going to say something. I don't know. that is astronomical. I've never even thought about it.
No, I mean, I saw a deal on Pat McAfee, Chuck Pagano talking about him, and trust me, Chuck, he's been in practice.
Does he know Boise?
Games.
Does he know Boise?
He knows what's going on. It's like he's a rolling ball of butcher knives.
I love Chuck. Shout out to Chuck.
Hey, I want to get into, there was
where's Helga?
Huh?
Yeah, you guys are slipping. Helga was tonight earlier. Ask the chat. Where's Helga?
I want to get into James Ferguson Reynolds' injury and a couple other things here in a minute, but I do want to thank a couple more of our sponsors real quick. Snake River Pool and Spa, thespateam.com, Snake River Pool and Spa, patio and game. Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa, been around since 1978. They're part of the Boise State home team. Again, you're looking for a spa for that back patio. You're looking for a pool table for the game room. You're looking for a sauna. They got you covered at thespateam.com. Check them out. Again, online, view their full inventory. The Snake River Pool and Spa, patio and game at thespateam.com. Lithia Ford of Boise, 4 players: Ahmed Hassanin, Matt Lauder, guys we're talking about, Andrew Simpson, Jonah Dalmas. They're all rocking vehicles from Lithia Ford of Boise. So check them out, lithiafordboise.com. You can view that full inventory of vehicles online. Again, lithiafordboise.com. They're going to have an NIL autograph signing event coming up during the bye week, so stay tuned for more information on that. Again, Lithia Ford Boise, lithiafordboise.com. Taco Bell, they're one of the preferred food partners at Boise State Athletics. Check them out, tacobellworks.com. SON Management Group, the Nicolason family, we appreciate them for their support of Bronco Nation News. Again, looking for a job? Taco Bell can help you out. tacobellworks.com, the Treasure Valley Taco Bell locations. And again, they're donating a lot of money to Boise State student athletes via the Endowed Scholarship Fund. So check them out, tacobellworks.com. Transportation Compliance Service, transcompservice.com. If you're looking for a job, check out transcompservice.com. transcompservice.com. They can help you with the paperwork and all the things you need to get into the trucking industry. Check them out, transcompservice.com. The Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. Check them out as well, theblueandorangestore.com. All your Boise State gear. Haven't seen the color scheme for the game next week, but check out the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. And again, right there online or on the Boise Town Square Mall. And I know there's a lot of options to go get your Boise State gear, but highly recommend the Blue and Orange Store there at the Boise Town Square Mall. Rid, you mentioned it earlier. Ahmed Hassanin, 91-cent coffee, 91-cent fountain drink. That will be on Monday. Ahmed Hassanin got a sack, so you can get your coffee or fountain drink, 91 cents at Jackson's. Make sure you check them out. Jackson's, 91 cent for your fountain drink or your coffee, thanks to the sack.
I will 1,000% be picking up a 91-cent fountain drink.
You will.
Diet Coke, full ice.
And
ready to roll.
Don't forget our we got one here to show you our the Horseshoe Golden Ale, our studio sponsor here. We're at the James, the Mobile Studios, the Western Collective Studios. Check out one of the Horseshoe Golden Ales. And they got the Orange Chaos Seltzer as well, so make sure you check them out. We appreciate our studio sponsor. Tough injury there, tough play for James Ferguson Reynolds. I know in the building at the time, a lot of people wanted to roughing the kicker, but they actually missed him, and it was his own guy that kind of hit him, and it looked kind of ugly there. But they had to change some things up because the kickoff guy went to become the punter, so they brought in a new kickoff guy and Reeser. They were kind of juggling on the fly there, and the punts weren't great after that. I don't know if that led to any of the fourth downs.
I would disagree. I thought the punts were for who it was supposed to be.
Okay.
Like they were fine. Hey man, like you punt the ball down there 35, 36 yards. Is it JFR? No, it's not. But if they fair catch those things and there's no return.
Yeah, 2 for 67, average of 33.5.
Yeah. 30, whatever. And I think one of those they caught inside the 20. So, it wasn't going to be a return, but or he couldn't kick it further.
What's that like on the fly, though, when your punter goes down with an injury and you got to change things up?
Yeah, it's a little scary.
Yeah. You don't know where the guy's going to place the ball.
But, I thought actually did a tremendous job. He went in there, caught the snap, rolled out, punted it down there. Fair catch, I think, both times. No returns. So,
Where they have return?
Our defense,
a lot of different guys, by the way. Cam Bates was back there some. They had Cooper Jones. A lot of different guys returning tonight.
Cam Bates was kickoff, right?
Kick return, yeah.
Yeah, Cooper, I think, handled all the punts. But, yeah, I mean, yeah. I thought
here's a fun one, Rid.
No, but let me finish. I thought the punt situation was great. I mean, they force him fair catch it, let the defense play defense. And at the end of the day, like we used to talk about that all the time. Like, hey, if it's 35-yard net, like at least the defense playing defense. Don't hit a line drive down there and give him a chance.
Exactly. And you have the ball at the end of the play.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And then for everybody else, you're a special teams guy. There's a big difference. For everybody's like saying, well, just put the same guy back there all the time. There's a big difference between returning kickoffs and returning punts.
Oh, no doubt.
And
Cooper Jones did a great job as a punt returner. I thought the kickoff return. I think we only have one, to my knowledge, and it was a newer guy, and I'm sure they're working on like, hey, if you're going to go,
yeah,
and if you're not going to go, like fair catch or let it go. So,
but I mean, like a punt returner back there, when you have people running in your face, it's a different animal, right? Where kickoff, you're like, oh, I'm cool. I'm going to do this.
Like I said, I mean, Cooper, like from what I saw, was running through guys, catch the ball, kept it from rolling around, losing yards.
Hidden yardage.
And JFR was seen in a boot and crutches on the sideline. I guess his dad tweeted that it's not broken. We'll find out again. You have the two games, Utah State and at Hawaii, and then they get the bye week. How many guys? I mean, just let fans know. I mean, you have multiple specialists, obviously, but I mean, do most teams have just a straight backup punter, or is it a guy that does both, or what's Boise State going to do here the next couple of weeks?
Survive. They'll be fine.
But I mean, in terms of roster spots and scholarships and all that.
Yeah, I mean they have probably two backups that maybe do a little bit of both, maybe do one of each. I mean, whatever. But Jonah can do whatever. I mean, Jonah could boom punts if he needed to. They don't need him to do that.
A huge leg.
So they had to change the holder also because JFR has been the holder too for the extra points and field goals.
That would probably be
that's more
bigger
important.
Deal.
That's more important.
But clearly there was no issue. I mean, those guys rep that stuff. Haven't been a specialist coach. Those guys have nothing but time. So they work on that stuff all the time. Different guys holding for different people.
Those are facts.
Jonah could probably hold for himself if he needed to be.
I want to go back to the defense for a second because we were talking about them earlier and we didn't mention. We talked about it a lot on the pregame show. No interceptions yet this year. Ty Benefield gets one, and right before halftime, about 30 seconds, when Washington State's coming in trying to tie the game, Boise State's up 7 in the end zone there. Ty Benefield gets one. That was because we've talked about that middle 8 and all that, but if Washington State scores there, it's to tie it up and then gets the ball to start the third quarter. Like that could have been a big swing.
Yeah.
Ty Benefield. I mean,
Huge.
the guy kind of threw it right to him, but it was a nice play.
It's huge.
God,
Are
we just going to kick guys in the balls?
No,
he threw it right to.
Well, I mean, he did.
The guy made a hell of a play.
He did.
Jesus, he was where he's supposed to be to make that hard. Great call by the defense.
The in route didn't cut in; he cut out on a corner. I don't know if that's true.
I'm giving him his props.
It was a lollipop. He picked it, and you know what? That right there was huge, especially coming into half to tie the game. And then
it was a big play in the game.
Can you remind me who got the ball at the second half? I can't.
Wazzu.
Yeah.
So Wazzu, right? So that could be a 4-point swing.
Yep.
They had like
That's
an
a
8-minute drive
swing.
too in the third quarter, over an 8-minute drive, and then they went for it on fourth down and didn't get it, I believe.
Shut down.
And that's the other thing is for anybody who wants to say the turnover battle, in my opinion.
Oh no, that
fourth down. If you fail on fourth down, it's called turnover on downs for a reason.
And that was
That's
my fault.
turnover.
That was the Rodney Robinson sack. It was an 8-minute drive, but Rodney Robinson gets the sack, and they end up having to punt. They get nothing to show for it, even though they took up half the third quarter with the ball.
God, they had that ball for a long time, but they got it.
Yeah, they converted a few. That was the.
Did Boise
was that the drive the Wazzu guy went with the judo kick on one of the third down conversions?
He went Karate Kid.
He did. Yeah. Anyway,
a couple other stats I want to mention. We mentioned Matt Lauder, 4 catches, 96 yards, 2 touchdowns. Cam Camper, 3 catches for 50 yards. Chase Penry got in the action today, 3 catches for 26 yards for him.
How about Austin Bolt? 2 PIs. Not going to show up, but
created him.
The face mask one, there was another holding. I think it was holding, maybe not PI, but yeah. No, he got out there, had a couple of targets.
I mean, like we can pretend that didn't happen. We didn't try to throw it to him, but
they
had to grab him on the one.
Cam Bates had a 5-yard catch, and then we mentioned Jeanty in the passing game did have 7 yards on a screen pass. But again, Madsen also scrambled a little bit. 3 carries for 20 yards. He had a nice scramble, I think, on third down at one point to get converted.
And they had several other screens they tried to throw to Ashton. And God, Wazzu kind of knew they might throw him the ball in space. Like there were guys all over him.
Yeah, screens. So. And they did a nice job in the screen game, spy in the back. And that's an O-line's nightmare, right? So it's like, hey, first out, if anybody's got anybody man, you got to lock on him and let everybody replace. And it happened once and didn't happen the other. It's life.
460 yards of offense for Boise State, 416 for Washington State. Mateer goes 26 of 37, 327 yards and 2 touchdowns. But again, he only finishes. Again, he had a 52-yard carry on the first play, but he only finishes with 28 rushing yards on 20 carries. I know the sacks are factored in, but after that first play, you're like, uh-oh, he's the real deal. And then sure enough, again, there was 1 or 2 other 10-yard scrambles, but for the most part, they really, really shut him down, which I thought was huge. There was even, it says 20 carries, but I felt like he was even a little gun shy about wanting to run at times because he hadn't had much success.
They knocked the crap out of him.
That's just not the stat of the day, right? Like when we talked about it on Wednesday, if he's going to leave the pocket, make him pay. Knock him out.
And there were some hard hits, too. They got him pretty good, yeah. Number 20 leading rusher in the nation coming in, averaging over 100 yards rushing per game. He goes 20 carries for 28 yards.
And that guy's a tough dude and a good player. And Wazzu's lucky to have him.
Yeah,
and
I agree with you. But
they'll continue to feature him, and he'll be a problem for other people. But
get him out of the pocket, smoke him, hit him, head hunt him,
like
do whatever you want to do.
Before the game, Boise State's well aware of that, and they'll do a good job of forcing him to do the stuff he doesn't want to do.
And you mentioned the 7 sacks, and a couple of those were him hanging way back there too long, and then they got to him before he could do anything. But what were you seeing? What was Eric Shenander dialing up in terms of what worked tonight defensively?
Oh, wait a minute. Now we're going to say he's just going to hang out and take sacks? I got my ad. They want to fire my ass for somebody hanging out and taking sacks. So let's go there. Let's go. The fact of
they developed as the play went on. They weren't initially just busting through somebody.
Third down, had to take advantage. If it's 3rd and long, which you talked about, 3rd and long, keep him in the pocket. Make him throw the ball, right? He is a I love the kid. He's a below average thrower. I'm sorry. He is what it is. What it is. And I don't want to talk bad about the young man. He's a below average thrower that couldn't convert on third and extended drives. And he did it with his feet a couple of times. But when he had to drop back and throw the ball, he's not an accurate thrower. And maybe that's a fair assessment.
Yeah, I think, he wasn't going to be accurate enough.
Fair. Better way of putting it, Rich.
But
he did complete for 327 yards. And Brad, there's some folks in here wondering about some of the DBs and Irby. And, again, anytime you pass for 300 plus yards, but if you are looking defensively, hey, I'm reading the comments here, Kent, and the pass defense last year wasn't very good. There's been some times this year.
We should hold them to 0. Every play should go for wherever we touch the ball for a touchdown.
Yeah.
And
there were a couple where Irby didn't turn around. I'm just pointing out plays.
Yeah.
What do you think, Brad?
Yeah, he's got to turn around. He's got to make a play on the ball. If you're playing cover 3 and you're in deep half and you're playing zone,
I got to let Jaden in the back door. So you guys, it's all yours for about 30 seconds, which could be a bad thing.
I've been waiting for this all my life. No, if you're playing cover 3, which they predominantly played zone, right? So he's got to carry him deeper. Okay. What are we talking about? We're talking about somebody. We're nitpicking, guys. We just had a great win, but we're nitpicking. Could he have carried him deeper? Yes. Could he have got his head around? Yes. Could he make a play on the ball? Yes. But at the end of the day, it didn't happen. They didn't convert what they wanted to convert. What was the third down conversion?
I think the best part was
Washington State to him on 7 of 17.
Third and short. Third and short to me was where we really hurt him.
2 of 5 on 4th down too.
Let me see this.
So I thought Boise State was.
And Boise State again, 3 of 3 in the red zone again too. Now 18 of 18 in the red zone on the season.
We did a tremendous job in short yardage situations on both sides of the ball, reestablishing the line of scrimmage. And offensively converted, I think almost all of them. We might have missed one and had to go 4 on 4th, but defensively they might have gotten one sneak, stuffed the second sneak, and then anytime you're third and like inches and you don't feel like you can get it under center, you get in the gun.
Sacks should go against passing yards for NCAA.
Why do they do that in college and NFL differently?
I said it.
Oh, come on now.
Listening.
Can't answer.
It's a stupid rule, right? But looking at this right here.
Jeanty's hurdle, by the way, someone says made Sports Center top 10 at number 9. That was the best 8-yard gain you'll see with the hurdle there. But as a coach, you like it, but you don't necessarily love that, right? I mean, is that you putting yourself in harm's way a little bit on that?
No.
When you got a dude like that, you let him go.
No, that's the hurdling seems to be like a Boise deal. Alexander Madison was a hurdler.
Well, I don't know. I mean, how would you ever tell a guy like, don't do that, don't get that? I mean, yeah.
Hey, here's a fun one. And stats are
for losers.
Yeah, thank you, Dan Hawkins. Here's Washington State. First quarter, touchdown, downs, punt, field. Second quarter, punt, field goal, interception, punt, downs, touchdown. Fourth quarter, punt, downs, touchdown. Let's go to Boise.
The touchdown was kind of when it was
it was over.
That's kind of a cheap, end of game when you're up, whatever they were up.
First quarter for Boise, touchdown, punt, interception. The interception, for anybody who wants to talk about it, is a tip ball. We already established that. And then a field goal. Second quarter, punt, touchdown, end of half. The end of half is huge because they can go to that because we had the turnover, right? They had the pick.
Yep, with about 30 seconds left.
Third quarter, punt, touchdown. Fourth quarter, touchdown, end of half.
4 straight touchdown drives.
Game over. And you know what? You want to start fast and you want to finish. They started fast with the run touchdown. They ended the game with touchdown, end of half, And what's the better feeling of kneeling on a ball, throwing it in the air, and we just beat your ass in Albertson Stadium on a undefeated opponent, and we're moving on for a Utah State team.
Yep,
that is not good.
So was the field goal were they in the red zone for the field goal, or were all 3 red zone trips touchdowns? I'm trying to see where was the field, what yard line were they on for the field goal for Boise State? They're at the 27. They're outside. So they're now 18 of 18 in the red zone, and it's 16 touchdowns and 18 trips.
Stats that
if you're at the 21,
everybody does.
Yeah, I mean, offensively, we might look at those a little bit different. Like, yeah, that was.
I mean, it seems pretty simple. You get to the 20, it should be a guaranteed field goal. You would think it's not that easy. I guess turnovers, missed field goals. I guess a penalty pushes you back.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about where they decide the red zone is. Because if you're first and 10 at the 26 or the 21, wherever, like, it's like, oh, that didn't count as a red zone trip. And offensively, you're like, well,
it did.
Well, okay.
Really?
The point is, though, 18 trips inside the 20, 16 touchdowns this year. I mean, they're getting down there and they're capitalizing, and they're finishing with 7, which in a close game can be the difference, 7 or 3.
Which I love going back to what we talked about, because nobody likes a hypocrite, right? So we talked about all the way from Wednesday to earlier today. If you're getting the red zone, score touchdowns. If you don't score touchdowns, we're going to be really upset at the end of the day, right? Yep. And Boise State came in and they got touchdowns, hence the score. I mean, everybody, they know math, right? 4 points. 4 points is huge. And anything, ask Alabama and Georgia. That came down to the wire.
Yeah, what a game.
So don't settle for field goals, get touchdowns. Boise State did. They're still efficient in the red zone. They don't settle for field goals and move on. And win for Boise, loss for Washington State.
I mentioned some of the offensive stats, but defensively, Ty Benefield, 8 tackles tonight, had that interception. Zion Washington, 8 tackles as well, a tackle and a half for loss. Ahmed Hassanin, 8 tackles, 1.5 sacks for him. Tubner with 7 tackles. McCoy, and I mentioned Notriani, again, 6 tackles, 1.5 tackles for loss, had a QB hurry. And on 4th down, he was one of those plays when the QB tried to keep it. He was, that 4th down where he got the quarterback and kept them short. I think that was one where they ruled it. They ruled it a first down and reviewed it and changed it. But you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys with at least 6 tackles tonight. I mean, they were defensively spreading the tackles around, Kent, and a lot of guys had big games.
Yeah, a lot of guys. And that's team defense, right? I mean, it's not like one guy's going to make every tackle, and those guys. Yeah,
Tubner had a night.
So
Tubner had a night.
Tubes was flying around.
Yeah, Tube may not show up on the statistics. They asked Tubner to blitz the quarterback.
He had a huge tackle at one point, a huge hit.
Screen, screen, the whole 9. I thought Tubner had a great night, and then
he had 7 tackles.
Hey, we can just end this whole thing right now.
Hold on. I have a question. No, I have a question. Who was the backup running back tonight?
Did not go too well for Breezy Dubar. He came in and he had 4 carries for -3 yards.
Who was the other guy? Who was the other guy?
Tyler Crow had 1 carry for 2 yards
for a first down.
I don't know. Yeah,
was it a first down?
I think so.
Dubar was 4 for -3.
I thought it was a distraction. I thought it was going to be a play action. Don't hand it off to
No.
They did.
I'm just telling you, we can shut this whole thing down and call it a night.
I don't want to call it a night.
Why is that? What do you got?
Turnovers 1-1, so equaled out.
Not really, though.
Well, whatever. Net yards rushing 276 Boise, 89 Wazzu. 3rd downs. They're gonna make me turn the damn page, but I know we were better.
Yeah.
I mean, we're a 4th of the way, or what are we now? 3rd of the way into the season, 4 games out of 12.
What was the 3rd down tonight?
Washington State 7 of 17, Boise State 6 of 11.
Okay, so almost 50% to
over 50 for Boise.
And here's another one. You mentioned the false starts and stuff. I mean, Boise State 4 penalties for 30 yards. Washington State 9 penalties for 63 yards.
Huge. And I don't mean to interrupt you.
Red zone, Boise State 3 for 3.
Yep, both teams were.
Okay, so what did I say?
But hold on.
I'm done.
Hidden statistics. Rid's going to walk off. But hidden statistic, how many times did Washington State go for it on 4th, not get it?
Absolutely.
That's a turnover, in my opinion.
No, I agree.
That's a turnover.
Yeah.
That's a turnover.
And there's nothing worse than when you go quarterback sneak and get stuffed.
Speaking to the choir.
Hey, let's hear the opening statement. It's about 3 minutes.
Fresno State. Fresno State. That was a fun one.
That's
Air Force. I remember Brett Rippon getting stuffed. Was it 4th and goal down there? You guys would have been in the championship.
I almost dropped my first half.
My kid didn't get a bike on one Christmas. So you want to talk about that?
So that's why we went to had a couple options off quarterback sneak, and it's funny because I saw the Rams doing it a while ago, and
it's undefeated.
It's undefeated. So
anyway, let's hear the opening statement. This is about 3 minutes. We're going to have the full interview up on the Bronco Nation News YouTube channel after the game. Jaden's putting that in right now. But let's hear the opening statement. It's about 3 minutes. Your head coach, Spencer Danielson, after Boise State takes down Washington State 45-24.
All right, guys, if my voice is a little off, as you guys know me very well, I'm very passionate and high energy out there on the field. But first off, I got to give God all the glory. And thank you, Jesus, for the opportunity to coach this team. Thank you, Jesus, for the victory. And I serve a champion. And my Savior died on the cross, but he rose again 3 days later. That's my king. That's my foundation. And I'm proud of our team going out there playing their absolute tails off. And they don't run from hard work. Tuesday, Wednesday, our guys are absolutely practicing like it's fall camp. Getting after each other, banged up, living in the training room. Practice performance equals game reality, and that's what these guys do. And they absolutely love their teammates. They do that for each other. They do that for Bronco Nation. I have to give a shout out to our fans, Bronco Nation. That was electric on that field tonight, and that was a huge advantage for us. Will continue to be a huge advantage as we go through this season. Thank you for everybody that showed up. We got, as a team, got to keep learning, keep growing. Our best football is in front of us and has to. The best teams continue to learn and get better week to week, and that's what I'm excited for. But I got to give just a shout out to our team in general, how hard they play. They play for each other. Still a lot to clean up, but I'm proud of this team. I love coaching this team. There's nothing I wouldn't do for them, and I know there's nothing they wouldn't do for each other. So I'm proud of how we came out. We knew starting on the offensive side, we knew that their defense was going to play really hard, and they did. Coach Cutter had a great game plan going into this. And, Ashton Jeanty, a guy that's an even better person than he is a football player. You talk about a guy on Tuesday practice sprints across the field to go grab a receiver that made a play and said, that's what we need you to do in the game. That's what we need you to do in the game. That's what I've been waiting to see. This is Ashton Jeanty. He's not worried about how many touches he's going to get, how he can get through practice. He cares about his team. And that showed tonight. A bunch of guys stepped up. Maddox, I thought, made good decisions with the football. Still a lot of the meat on the bone with him in our pass game. No sacks tonight. Our offensive line continues to battle. We continue to rotate guys through. Coach Keene does a great job with that. And we're continually able to make explosive plays. And even when we need to grind a team down, our offense can do that. We still got a long way to go, and I'm excited to keep learning and growing. I'm so proud of our defense. Coach Shenander and the plan he put together. We knew going into this game that number 10, Mateer, was going to be one of the best quarterbacks we see all season. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. And being able to get, 7 sacks tonight when they'd given up 5 at this point all season long. Being able to get him off a spot. There's still there's some tackling out there we got to grow in. There's some fits we got to fit. But, that defense was relentless tonight. A bunch of TFLs, got them behind the chains, and stayed in the fight, proud of them. So we got to just keep learning and growing. Right now, don't know exactly what happened with James Ferguson Reynolds. We'll find out. They told me that he was obviously out of the game. It was a big hit on him. I'm not going to talk about that in detail, but we'll find out more about that injury as we go through this week. But I was proud of, even Jarrett stepping up on kickoffs, being able to get some touchbacks that we needed. So a bunch of guys stepped up. It's a team win. For me, when we look at it, we're going to keep learning and growing. That's what it is. It's not the opponent's nameless and faceless. What did we learn? Where are we growing to? And it's going to be no different with our team on Monday.
You talk about there he is, Spencer Danielson, talking after the game. A lot of folks saying it fired him up there, run through a brick wall for him. I saw somebody say, but one thing that we hadn't talked about that he noticed was the O-line, though. No sacks. That's now, Brad, in 4 games, 2 sacks.
No sacks.
2 sacks in 4 games around here almost seems unheard of.
You don't.
That didn't come,
Does that mean?
that didn't come out right.
That's two.
That didn't
That's
come
two.
out right. That did not.
I work counting them. Okay,
Yeah, but
I'm just playing the numbers. I'm playing the percentage.
I'm gonna have Brad's back on this one. You know, sacks aren't like everybody's like, oh, it's he got sacked. O-line, like, you know, there's running backs, tight ends.
That's okay, Rid. I'll tell you,
quarterbacks.
Ezra Cleveland first team, John Molshon first team,
All right.
Garrett Larson first team.
I bet you if we go look right now, there's not too many teams in America, if any, that have given up 2 sacks in 4 games. That's the whole point.
Very well.
My point was everybody's involved in this. It's a offensive wide deal.
It is, and
they're all in this together, and they're making sure that doesn't happen.
I'll tell you that the other thing is, Coach Keene deserves credit. I mean, I've been in his shoes. He deserves the credit.
Yeah,
like I said, give Coach Keene the credit.
Coach Keene, Coach Potter, Coach Montgomery,
Potter, all of it, the whole offense.
Coach Cutter,
and don't forget though. Right now, they're also playing with 2. I hate to say it because they're proving now to be starters, but going into the season, 2 backups now is emerging as legit, solid options here. 2 guys that went into the season and not expecting to start, and you're not even thinking like, oh, they got 2 backups out there. The whole train just kept on rolling down the tracks.
They've ran the ball well. Anytime you can run the ball well, that right there protects the passer. And you know what? I'm the first one. I love the fact that Coach Keene, he's doing a great job. I mean, give him credit. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and cry spilled milk and all that stuff, but give Coach Keene the credit, give Dirk the credit, getting the quarterback out of the pocket, run play action, run some pull type protections, and throw shots. I mean, I love it. Give them the credit. They're rolling. They're doing a great job, and they deserve the credit. It is what it is. Our offense, what we ran here and we won a lot of football games, and I stand behind that. I stand behind the product that I put on the football field. I love the guys I had. I'm not gonna even remotely talk bad about them.
No, but it's always more than the O-line. It's easy to throw the O-line under the bus.
Sure,
when the quarterback gets sacked.
That's okay.
No, I mean,
throw them
even
under
Washington,
even
Washington State's tonight. Like a couple of those sacks.
All 7 were not on the O-line.
Yeah, like, hey man, there's a free dude running in there. We could have had an 8th. One of them, somebody came so clean he thought it was a screen.
Hey, and other O-lines, pay attention. Like Ezra Cleveland texts me, we're the worst O-line that ever. No, you're not. The guy's gonna start for Jacksonville Jaguars tomorrow. We have Super Bowl champions. It doesn't matter. Give Coach Keene the credit. Give the offense the credit. They're rolling. They're doing a great job. I am more than happy to give them the credit and have them be dominant. And it's just good for the city of Boise. That's all I care about is the city of Boise. They're rolling. Good for them.
So let's spin this forward here as we kind of get ready to spin this forward and wrap this up. But Utah State next week, they're coming off a 45-29 loss to Temple. Then they had the bye week this week. Now they're 1-3, but they have played at USC and then they played Utah. 2 top 15 teams as well. But Utah State 1-3, and I guess my bigger question is here. I mean, we believe the UNLV game is certainly going to be a challenging game in a couple of weeks, but Utah State at Hawaii, at UNLV. Then you got San Diego State at home, Nevada at home, at San Jose, at Wyoming, Oregon State. Is UNLV really the last kind of serious hurdle here to run the table here? I mean, how do you look at the schedule? And this win tonight, we knew was going to be a big one. I know the coach's perspective, every game is going to be, super tough, this and that. But we're getting to the point here where this playoff run is going to, with every week, is going to start to become more and more, the likely here.
I'm just going to say Utah State will show up ready to play. They've had a bye week. Those guys will be good. We've had a lot of good games against them. I can't speak for
we
going
beat
to
the
Hawaii
brakes off of them.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen too. But but I'm just saying, we can't just mail it in.
You can't. Yeah,
mail it in and be like,
game.
We only get these games.
I agree.
Hawaii presents its own challenges.
It does, especially in the passing game.
Yeah. Well, and it's on the island.
Which
so,
They do get a bye after that game, though.
thank God.
That helps.
Because you don't want to play that game.
After.
You don't want to play that game, come back, and then try and play.
But San Diego State, Nevada. I mean, I know Jeff Choate's going to bring that group in here ready to play.
If you don't think that game's going to have something to it, like you're not paying attention.
That's the game.
Because Choater's got those dudes playing hard.
Hard.
So, that might be an ugly game, but
I think
that's going to be a hard game.
There's very few people in this business, the coaching business, that can bring out what's best for the players than Jeff Choate.
Yeah, and he doesn't care like what it looks like, what the stats look like. Those dudes are going to show up ready to play
and I think that's the game also like 3 days after the first college football playoff rankings come out. So if Boise State's winning, there's going to be a chance they're in that first ranking. There's a lot of talk. They're in the projected field. And then you got Jeff Choate coming to town.
Choater's going to have those dudes.
Oh, boy. Was Choate not a candidate for the job?
He might have been.
On Bronco Nation News at the media days, he said he interviewed and was pretty salty about not getting the job.
Yes. You gave me a Jeff Choate team coming into Boise with
massive chip.
With the chip on his shoulder.
Find a few guys that played for Choate that don't like him.
Oh, yeah. They love him.
Yeah, there's not many.
But if you want to really go over the Boise schedule, I mean, next week, Utah State, not a winning schedule.
No, but here's the problem, and this has been the deal at Boise State forever. You're going to get everybody's best shot.
I agree with you there, but
so Boise State has to come out hot every game
to
show them that your best shot's not going to be good enough, and then
I'm with you.
And then a lot of times they'll shut it down. So the better teams play through it.
I agree. I'm with you to an extent.
If you come out slow, and I think about Darren College mentioned it the other night, but we're playing at San Jose at 9 a.m. in the morning Pacific time, like literally the first one of those.
They had homeless people getting free hot dogs.
Yeah, absolutely, and they get to stay for the soccer game afterwards. But that lost my train of thought.
That's a fair point.
But anyway,
Nevada in the schedule here.
But we came out that game not with our best, and we let them hang around way too long.
Yeah.
We were fortunate enough. Gerald Alexander, before they changed the rules, because we would have lost had they not changed the rules, or had they changed the rules previously. Jumps over, you were allowed to jump on field goals. Yeah. Like launches over, got a good pushback, blocked it, and we got to get to overtime. But I mean, if we don't have a guy make a phenomenal play, and B, the rules conducive to that back then, we lose that game and we go ahead. But my point being, the big problem was we let them hang around too long.
I'm hearing you. I'm with you.
So
hold on. I'm not arguing with you.
Yeah.
Utah State's coming into town. Choke the life out of them, snap a neck, and win. Right? That's what it is. You win at home.
Absolutely.
Right? You got to go undefeated at home. If you can't win at home,
at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, it better be sold out. It better be sold out because it's still a playoff team. But I'll tell you this right now. Boise State is not playing UNLV. If you want to look at the records, UNLV and Oregon State are the only two winning record teams they're going to play. It's now the maturity and the leadership of this football team that's going to go in and go, I don't give a shit what record you have. We're going to beat your butt and move on.
Yeah.
It's going to start with Utah State.
No doubt.
And it's going to start with a crowd. It better be sold out, which it
already is. Yeah.
It already is.
Yep.
And it needs Bronco Nation to come in and snap the neck and move on.
Well, you mentioned the maturity. I mean, they're going to be, massive maybe, but double-digit favorites in most of these remaining games. They're going to be expected to win. You mentioned UNLV certainly is going to be a tough one. That might be, I think it's already in. It's a Friday night CBS Sports Network game, but that'll be one of the bigger games in America that weekend if they're undefeated still and what's on the line there. But again, you're going to have, you mentioned the maturity. Like there's a lot of these games, and I know Kent, it's trickier. I get it, but like on paper, they're going to be expected to win almost every game left on the schedule.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. I'm giving you the coach talk like to the players.
You're expected to win every game at Boise State.
Without question.
But I'll tell you this right now, what worries me, and it's also a challenge to this city, is this. You just come off a big win. It's Utah State, don't mind the score. That's a big win in my opinion. That is a huge win. Don't have a letdown. So that includes the city of Boise.
Yeah.
I expect the same atmosphere next week.
Yeah, don't check out at halftime.
Don't check out. It's Parents Weekend. We're ready to roll. Let's go. Beat the brakes off of them and move on. And
if you want to check out at fourth quarter if we're up 40.
Well, I mean, if the next week's game goes as expected, it could be 35-7 at halftime. If the students want to head to the bars, I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to argue with them.
I will.
Let's stay to the start.
I will.
Start of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I will.
Which again, we said it earlier in the show, but they do deserve a lot of credit tonight. I looked up early in the fourth quarter, and the student section was still full and packed.
Absolutely.
By the way, is there a better? I know Buster Bronco runs out. They got the Boise State chant going, and then they got the countdown, and the lights go down, and then when Seven Nation Army hits and that bass hits, and the whole crowd is just doing the chant, and you're waiting for the team to run out.
Awesome.
It's not. I know there's Virginia Tech, Sandman. There's some famous ones, big ones, but that you mentioned Chills earlier in the game, Rid. That's about as cool as it gets.
I would just like to give the Seven Nation Army credit to Jeff Pittman because he that was his deal.
Really? Okay, I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Is that well known, or what's his backstory there?
I don't even know what's well known. All I know is like he was adamant, like Seven Nation Army. So
I like the Boise State entrance.
Yep.
It's not Ralphie.
It's not what?
It's not University.
No, of course
Colorado.
not. I didn't say it was number one. I just said it's pretty darn cool. Somebody's asking, by the way.
Rock Chalk Jayhawks ass compared.
I'll give you that.
Liberty's only good when Ralphie gets loose.
What do you guys? Somebody's asking about
Ralphie's on our period.
Somebody's asking about the Liberty game getting canceled. Obviously, I've seen some pictures. They're not great with the flooding there at App State. So hope everything's okay there. But Liberty potentially running the table. Are they still getting that if they run the table with that week schedule, or is it Boise State? Is that should Boise State fans be worried about that? Or
I'm not even going to that because there's more.
Take care of what you can take care of.
There's more important things than football, and what those people have gone through, I'm not. Football doesn't. Who gives a shit?
And I saw some of the photos. Yeah, it just didn't look good. I don't know if you guys saw the East Tennessee State. I don't know who they were playing today, but I saw they got stranded because of the flood on the buses for several hours and ended up playing the game today because of all that. So yeah, there's a lot more going on.
You mean football's pretty important?
Football's very important.
Yeah. NFL's not going to play tomorrow. Yeah. So, in my opinion, college football is special to me, but it's not more important than the safety of other people. And Appalachian State, their administration thought that we are going to cancel this because our student athletes are at risk.
Well, and sometimes they're doing a great job of looking out for other people.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we could make this game happen, but it'd only be the two teams that are safe. We got other people that might try and get here, and
I'm not gonna
we're going to look out for them.
Not going to do it. Not going to do it.
We're well over 2,000 views. We appreciate all you guys that are watching here at 1:30 in the morning almost. For the 330 of you still watching on YouTube, give us that like, give us that subscribe button.
We're just fired up that probably the last game this late for this out. Or
I would say the trade-off of no light show for a 5 o'clock game is probably okay.
Yeah.
For one
light show at the fourth quarter.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Good. Light show, fourth quarter.
All right, Brad.
Everybody.
Just 45-24. You big picture, whether it's Jeanty, the game, next week, the season, your final thoughts after this one.
Boise State's rolling, right? They've got what is in place. And Jeanty and the Heisman, all that's second nature to the team winning. right? And that's what's important to me. I want team and I want winning. And when Boise State's rolling and playing 3 halves or 3 quarters of football, special teams, offense, defense, Boise State's really tough to beat. They're really tough to beat.
They had just pulled out that Oregon game. Oh, man.
Well, there
I know
was
it's easy to say easily
there was
could
a
have, whatever,
on a section of the team winning, right? I mean, right, wrong, or indifferent, that's what happened.
I mean, I just think with that and we threw 4 games, Kent, I mean, they've proven they're a pretty darn good team, and it's going to be a fun next 2-3 months here to keep watching this team play.
Yeah, and if I had I could take this a long ways, and you probably knew it, what I was going to say. I really think Boise State's a very good football team. And with the rest of this schedule, UNLV, I'm going to say it. Fuck. UNLV is still UNLV. And you can walk into Raider Nation, and that's not UNLV, that's Raider Nation. And you can still beat the brakes off of UNLV, win it out, and have a chance. And if you win out, you have a chance. And all you can ask for is a chance. You're not guaranteed anything. You're guaranteed a chance. And if you win out, run the football, play action football, and great defense, you got a chance to move on and do what your end goal is for the city, really.
Right.
All the players give a crap about
Bronco Nation
is the next week. It's Utah State. Here we go. Parents weekend, gonna be fired up. Stadium sold out already.
Yep.
And I really hope that we're out here on the walkway, because I'm going to say it again. If you didn't have the chills going down your spine when everybody's walking out and the special atmosphere that this place had tonight, you don't love college football.
I agree.
Rid, your final thoughts.
Awesome atmosphere tonight. That was probably the best part of the entire game outside of Ashton Jeanty. But I mean, phenomenal. I was fired up. I thought the defense was phenomenal. I thought the special teams did a great job. Offense, obviously, it's easy to say Ashton did this, Ashton did that, but man, the offense is always an 11-person play. You can't take play off no matter who you are. So for them to do that, put up 45, I mean, phenomenal.
They'll tell you the same thing.
I thought the game plan on all 3 aspects was phenomenal. We're lucky to have Spence leading the show and the coordinators and the assistants. I'm sure somebody will bitch that I'm a homer. Totally am. Those guys are my friends.
They just did beat the brakes off of you.
We're playing some
State
clips,
team.
by the way. Jaden Finch put some highlights together that were showing up the game here while we're talking.
Yeah, I just think we're lucky to have such great leadership and everything, and then great players.
I agree. I agree.
And just so excited to see where this thing goes. Excited for next week to show up, have the same atmosphere. I mean, maybe it's the 4th quarter before we get the light show, but maybe not. I don't know. I don't know what the sunset is. Who cares?
What are the comments saying?
It's going to be a lot of fun.
People are fired up and think it's, super fired up, as you can imagine. There's some some folks that we talked about earlier with the quarterback.
Oh, let me guess. We're going to worry about what the quarterback did tonight. Blah, blah, blah.
I'm going to say this. My final thoughts, and I said this on Twitter, and I said earlier, enjoy what you're seeing with Ashton Jeanty and soak it in, because this is I know there's 7 games left, or whatever games, and things happen, but we're witnessing something that, not many, something special, something historic, something that not many fan bases around the country, recently, if not ever, have gotten to experience something this, where literally every time your running back touches the ball, he's got a chance to go 90 yards for a touchdown, and averaging over 200 yards a game. What he's doing with the touchdowns, the yards, I just think that we're trying to realize what we're seeing, but I think when it's all said and done, we may realize okay, we haven't seen this before. We may not see it for a long, long time. He is a super special player, and I hope folks enjoy every game that you have him. You guys mentioned the character, the whole recruiting process, what he's doing off of the field, and the fact that he's still here. But he is here, and what he's doing on the field. And like I said, there was a point where, I mean, literally every time he touches the ball, you can't take your eyes off it because you don't know what he's going to do.
I agree.
I just think that is enjoy what you're witnessing right here. Soak it in. And then root him like heck on at the next level, and hope he continues to do it like there too. But it's Ashton Jeanty this is as cool of a story as we've had around here in a while.
I'm with you, and I think a lot of people
that run, by the way, where you get the short touchdown, 14 yards or whatever, where you got across the end.
It's good. So I will tell you this: a lot of people didn't realize that TCU back in the day, it was TCU versus New Mexico when LaDainian Tomlinson and with Dennis Franchione as the head coach. All of a sudden, we witnessed LaDainian Tomlinson's running for 400 and something yards, and they pulled him off the field. How about this one? They pulled him off the field, and finally, Dennis Franchione, somebody comes and goes, "Hey, Coach Fran, they're gonna if he runs for 10 more yards, he has the NCAA record." He's like, "Well, then put him in," and they didn't realize it either. So if you can actually sit back and realize what's happening in front of you in something special, if you can't soak that in, there's something wrong with you. I'm sorry, there's something wrong with you. In college football and where we're at right now, you're a dumbass.
And the whole crowd too chanting Heisman and stuff. And again, the whole city's embracing this, the whole fan base. I mean, I know it's a team game, but like I said, I mean, a lot of people are watching, and I saw a lot of people on Twitter around the country on the East Coast saying Ashton Jeanty's worth staying up for. So I mean, it's becoming a national story here, and it's pretty cool.
I've got my buddies from high school back in the Midwest, Central Time Zone, texting me at 1 a.m. their time, like, this guy's ridiculous. Like, yeah, he is.
He's really good.
Yeah. So the fact that we're in the top 25, I don't think anybody gives a rat's ass about that in the building, really, at this point of the year. What helps is it probably shows more of his highlights on TV. So,
and Ashton Jeanty in the building is probably more or less saying, thank you for having me be a part of this.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
Knowing his background.
No, it's exciting. Hope everybody appreciates that. And if anybody wants to debate the quarterback thing, maybe next bye week we set up appointments with Dirk and they could have a one-on-one.
You know what? So, how about this one? I would love to set up an appointment with people.
Yeah. Dumbest thing I've ever.
Well, you need to get one of those flags right there. It's something cool looking Heisman. But I can't appreciate you guys. We'll do it on Wednesday, 9 a.m. Brad, Tuesday night. Hopefully, folks will come up and hang out here with us at the James.
Yeah. Hopefully, a lineup. I don't know.
It'll be tough to top. I mean, every week we keep saying it keeps getting better, but that was tough to top. It'll be tough to top last week. Hopefully, folks will go back and watch that. But Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. And again, if you come up and ask a question to the guys in person, watch it on the patio, your first Horseshoe Golden Ale is on Bronco Nation News. So thanks to Jaden behind the scenes with all the work that he's doing to help us get on the air. And it's been a long day for him as well, setting all this stuff up and everything. So we appreciate him and appreciate both you guys. So we'll see you Tuesday, Kent. Brad, we'll see you Wednesday.
Yep.
And then we'll be back, 2:30 for the pregame show for Utah State, and we'll do it all over again next week. So heck of a win, heck of a night, and Boise State 3-1. So it was a good night for the Broncos.
There we go.
Awesome.
Let's roll.
Go Broncos.
Appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your evening. I'm going to go home and write a story, and then you can read that when you wake up tomorrow on the win. And then obviously, Boise State, full video highlights, all that'll be on YouTube. All the post-game interviews and press conferences. Who all talked? It was Ashton Jeanty, I assume, and Ahmed Hassani, and they'll be on there as well. So these guys are gone. They gave up before we're out of here. But, all the post-game interviews will be on there, and then all the highlights, everything on YouTube. We'll get those up shortly. And then, as I said, I'll have a post-game story when you wake up. You can read that. tomorrow morning when you wake up. So appreciate you guys. Thanks again for watching. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on the way out. And we appreciate all you guys. Subscribe if you can. It's just $50 to get a full year of coverage at BroncoNationNews.com. If you can help us out, we'd appreciate it. But at a minimum, make sure you subscribe on that YouTube channel. Hit that like button as well. And we had like 500 and something comments. We appreciate all you guys for the comments. And I really had fun as we almost get to 2 hours here on the post-game show. So thanks a lot. Appreciate it, guys. And we'll talk to you Monday morning. Mike Prater and I will break this thing down on Monday morning at 9 a.m. right here on the Bronco Nation News YouTube, Facebook, and X channels. So have a great rest of your night. And read my story when you wake up. Subscribe. And we'll talk to you Monday morning. Again, final score 45-24. The Blue and Orange Store Postgame Show. We're in the Western Collective Studios. Our title sponsor, of course, is rowpaint.com. Have a great night. Boise State 3-1. The hype continues. The Ashton Jeanty, Heisman campaign continues to get stronger. And we'll see tomorrow if Boise State moves up in the top 25 as well. Enjoy the win. We'll talk to you later. Bronco Nation News Live here at BroncoNationNews.com.
Bronco Nation News is presented by rowpaint.com, Idaho Central Credit Union, Taco Bell, by Lithia Ford, the Blue and Orange Store, Western Collective, by Jackson's, Snake River Pool and Spa, Transportation Compliance Service, Bauscher Real Estate, Ridley's Family Markets, by Circa Las Vegas, Lean Feast, and by Timberstone Golf Course.